What's up, YouTube? This is Methods97 and welcome to my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. This is episode number 10 and we're here with Friday Night SmackDown. So without any further delay, let's take a look at this week's match cards. We've got Randy Orton one-on-one with Chris Jericho. Jimmy Uso takes on Cody Rhodes and Titus O'Neil in a triple threat matchup. So one half of three different tag teams competing there. Rey Mysterio goes one-on-one with Bad News Barrett. Next up is Natalya versus AJ Lee, two divas who are vying for a potential shot at Summer Rae's Divas Championship at the Royal Rumble. Xavier Woods goes one-on-one with Fandango, two superstars who are looking to prove themselves here on SmackDown. And what about this? A matchup we were supposed to see 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, but it was interrupted by the Big Show as it's Sheamus one-on-one with Ryback. So Jimmy Uso wins the triple threat, and AJ gets the victory over Natalya. And Xavier Woods and Fandango, it is Fandango who gets the win in that contest. So let's go ahead and get into the first matchup of this evening, as this one is the returning matchup for the Viper, Randy Orton. Of course, coming off a hellacious match at the TLC pay-per-view, which he was unsuccessful in capturing the Intercontinental Championship. Took quite a beating in that one. It was very back and forth between Orton and Ryback, but in the end, Ryback was just too tough for Randy Orton. So Orton, he's looking to try to bounce back. You know, he had been making claims heading into the pay-per-view that he was going to be the first superstar ever in Universe Mode to hold both the Intercontinental and World Heavyweight Championships at the same time. But we see that didn't pan out for him, but I still think that Orton, he's going to look to try to get back into that World Heavyweight Championship scene. Of course, he is a former world champion. He defeated Sheamus in a battle royal back at SummerSlam. And then, of course, Sheamus won the title back at Night of Champions, and ever since then, Orton has been preoccupied with Ryback. But what about this man, Chris Jericho? He competed for the World Heavyweight Championship back at Survivor Series in a triple threat match against Mark Henry and Sheamus. And we remember last week, we take you back, Chris Jericho one-on-one with Bad News Barrett. Barrett picked up the victory in that one, so both these superstars in this matchup looking to bounce back from big-time losses. So here we go. Nice lockup here between Orton and Jericho. Jericho right now with a waist lock here on Orton. But Orton, he's going to counter into one of his own. Nice bit of chain grappling here to kind of start things off right now. And now a rear headlock there from Jericho. And oh, knee right to the back, right to the lower back of Randy Orton. And of course, Orton, he's got to be still feeling the effects from the TLC matchup, as of course, we saw Ryback, he's been feeling the effects as he lost his matchup against the Big Show a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown after Big Show attacked Sheamus and prevented the original Sheamus-Ryback matchup from taking place. But right now, Ryback, he's coming off a couple losses, so he's got to try to, well, not a couple, but just a loss to the Big Show, which, it's got all the importance of several losses for Ryback because Big Show is going to be facing Ryback for that Intercontinental Championship at the Royal Rumble. And then, of course, we take a look at Orton, who went through hell and high water in that match with Ryback. So Orton, he had to take a couple of weeks to recuperate, but he's back now here on SmackDown, taking on Chris Jericho. So I don't know who the favorite would be in this one because Orton, while he may still be suffering from that matchup with Ryback, he may have a couple nagging sort of pains and aches all over his body. But of course, at the same time, they don't call him the Viper, the Apex Predator, for nothing. I mean, Orton, he's a former legend killer. So I'd have to think that that loss to Ryback is only just going to increase his drive to get back in the World Heavyweight Championship title picture. So Orton's a very dangerous man right now, I have to say. So Jericho, he's going to have to watch himself. But at the same time, desperate men do desperate things. Chris Jericho is also kind of in the same boat as Orton, coming off of, a couple losses. Of course, the world title loss back at Survivor Series, and most recently the loss to Barrett last week on SmackDown. So both these two superstars really looking to bounce back. Look at Orton. Oh, a knee right to the top of the head of Chris Jericho there. What a move by Orton. And Orton now, oh, he's going to go for it again. measuring Jericho, and one more for good measure. Knee drop right to the top of the skull of Jericho. And now Jericho trying to get back in control. Look at this. Tying up Orton's arm here. Oh, what's he going to go for here? Oh, what a move. Just wrenching back on the arm of Orton there. Look at the torque Jericho put on that arm. And now it's Jericho who appears to have gained the advantage. But what? Just as I say that, drop kick from Orton takes Jericho out. And now a kick to the leg of Jericho. And Orton now trying to take control for himself here in this matchup as he throws Jericho into the corner. But Jericho counters with a nice back elbow. But Orton now, that is press, and delivers a couple punches right to the skull of Chris Jericho. And Orton now measuring Jericho. What's he going for? Oh, look at this. Look at this, Randy Orton. He's got Jericho, and DDT off the ropes. That is vintage Randy Orton right there. And Orton, he's got Jericho right where he wants him cover. 1, 2. No, but Jericho kicks at it too. But that was a big maneuver there from Orton. Orton's starting to regain control in this matchup. And now look at this. There's an Irish whip. And look at this! Look at this! Randy Orton catapults Chris Jericho into the air, into an RKO. 2, 3, and there is no way Jericho was going to kick out of that one. Randy Orton, out of nowhere, just catapulting Chris Jericho up into the air, several feet above his head. But just the strength that it took from Orton to pull that off. And what about this? Not only did he catapult Jericho that high in the air, but he turned it into an RKO out of nowhere. Look at this replay. Bang! Right there. That RKO, that was all it took to put Chris Jericho away. And Orton, very emphatic victory here. A nice way to bounce back off the loss to Ryback at TLC. And at this point, you know, we don't know who the World Heavyweight Championship #1 contender is going to be. Because, of course, it was supposed to be Edge, but Edge, you know, not coming out in the game just yet. And so, I mean, right now, it's just kind of, it's an interesting situation. I mean, Edge is nowhere to be found at the moment. Christian, the former #1 contender, he hasn't been found either. So, right now, we don't have anyone to face Mark Henry at the moment. But you got to think of the Elimination Chamber. Hopefully by that point, we'll see the return of Edge and Christian, and hopefully they'll be able to, you know, stake their claim in that matchup. But I mean, for the Royal Rumble, it kind of sucks that happened. But hopefully we can hopefully somebody can define themselves here as a contender, the definitive #1 contender. Maybe we'll have some sort of triple threat or fatal four-way or something. But right here, Rey Mysterio going one-on-one with Bad News Barrett. I miss Barrett. He needs to come back in the WWE. I hope he needs to get well soon, because I need some bull hammers in my life. There just hasn't been enough Wasteland, not enough bull hammer in the WWE. I mean, Wade Barrett. I can't wait any longer. He needs to come back. Maybe he can make a return to the Royal Rumble. That'd be great. And recapture that Intercontinental title, and eventually one day become the first ever World Heavyweight Champion from his native country. But here we go, we're taking on Rey Mysterio here. Mysterio, of course, you know, he had a matchup for the tag team titles back on the final episode of Main Event, along with his partner Sin Cara, but of course, they were unsuccessful against the Y family, and just recently, with the referee get out of the way, but recently, Rey Mysterio went one-on-one with Luke Harper on Main Event. And of course, Luke Harper with that devastating discus clothesline nearly decapitated Mysterio there. So Mysterio looking to bounce back from that loss, and of course the tag team loss as well here in a match against Wade Barrett. But what about Rey? You know, now that he's not teaming with Sin Cara, the question is, you know, is he gonna potentially try to contend for the Intercontinental or the World Heavyweight Championships? Where are Rey Mysterio's goals set at the moment? Not too sure, but I mean, at this point, you know, when we don't have a definitive contender for that world title, and it's in a state of confusion right now, this could be a good opportunity for Rey to maybe try to stake a claim. And the same goes for Barrett. I mean, Barrett, we've seen, he's got some issues with Mark Henry in the past. You know, they had that confrontation backstage about a month ago, and Barrett, you got to think he's holding some sort of a grudge against Mark Henry. And even if that's not the case, he wants that world title at some point in his career. That's been his agenda. That's been his goal since day one. So here we go. Look at this hurricanrana from Rey. Could have Barrett here, but Barrett kicks out at one. So we got two very hungry challengers right now who could potentially face off against Henry for that world title at the Royal Rumble. Of course, even if these two superstars were to not challenge Mark for that title, then you got to think they'll be entering the Royal Rumble, and that just gives them one more opportunity to potentially challenge for the title. Look at this. Barrett plants Mysterio, almost like a variant of the Wasteland, and now just driving the knee right in the back of Rey, trying to soften Rey up, perhaps, for the Wasteland. I mean, Wade Barrett, this guy, he's he's got a very hard-hitting, brawling style. As you see right there, a big punch to the face of Mysterio, and Barrett now just punching away once again in the face of Rey. But of course, Barrett, he's got very sudden, powerful finishers that he's got at his disposal. Of course, the bull hammer, knock your lights out, which is one shot. He can hit that from almost out of nowhere. Then, of course, the Wasteland. I mean, if the bull hammer's not enough, the Wasteland is going to put you out for good. I mean, just the power and just the quickness with which Barrett just snaps you off his shoulders and slams your back right down on the mat. And look at Rey, big kick to the face of Barrett there. And right to the chin, could have him here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, but Barrett just manages to kick out there. Rey almost had him. And this is a big opportunity for Rey. Look at this. Hurricanrana into the ropes. Rey Mysterio, he's looking to set it up. He's dialing up. 619. Right to the face. Rey Mysterio. The splash off the top rope. Covered. 1, 2, 3. Rey Mysterio's got him. Rey Mysterio has picked up a huge victory over Wade Barrett here tonight. Wow. Heading into this one, I probably would have expected, just based on Rey Mysterio's recent performance in the past couple of months, I would have expected Barrett to get, not an easy victory, but I wouldn't have expected Rey Mysterio to put up this much of a fight against Wade Barrett. But Mysterio managed to turn things around. That big kick to the face, that wasn't enough, but it definitely took a lot out of Barrett and just softened him up for the 619. So Mysterio, that's a very much needed victory for Mysterio, and at the same time, Barrett really could have used the victory, because I think, off the victory over Jericho, if he could have beaten Rey Mysterio, I think Barrett would have been, at the very least in the top 2, top 3 contenders for that world title. But this loss to Rey Mysterio, just a bit of a hiccup in his recent memory, his short-term career, his goals for that world title. And now I think it truly is up in the air, because I think Barrett would have been the closest to being the #1 contender at this point in time. But after that loss, I think it truly is up in the air. And looking at these two superstars heading into our main event, Sheamus, of course, it goes with that. His history with the World Heavyweight Championship in the Universe Mode, unprecedented. He's been in the title picture since the beginning. He had a run from about Extreme Rules to Survivor Series of being in that world title picture. The matchup at TLC, I believe, was the first time we actually had a World Heavyweight Championship matchup that did not feature Sheamus at all. And that was, of course, between Mark Henry and Christian. And we take it back, Sheamus winning, well, we go way back, he was the original world champion, lost it to Del Rio at Extreme Rules, won it back in a triple threat against Del Rio and Daniel Bryan at Over the Limit, and then over at the Vengeance pay-per-view, he defended it against Bad News Barrett. SummerSlam, he lost it to Orton in the Battle Royal, but won it right back at Night of Champions, only to lose it to Henry at No Way Out. And, of course, the triple threat matchup, which he was unsuccessful in attaining the gold as well at Survivor Series. But what about this man? What about Ryback? Possibly the most dominant Intercontinental Champion we have had here in Universe Mode. Of course, Christian, the man Ryback defeated for the title at SummerSlam, Christian had a pretty good title run as well, but not nearly as destructive as Ryback, not nearly as dominating as Ryback has been. As Ryback, he's defeated Christian. Remember the match at Night of Champions where Ryback took not 1, not 2, but 3 kill switches and kicked out of them all. How about that for, a good way to start off the title reign? In Christian's rematch, Ryback just would not die. He would not lose that title. And ever since then, defeated Randy Orton on multiple occasions for the Intercontinental title. Ryback, he's just been on a path of destruction. And I think by the time he does lose that Intercontinental Championship, I think he'll be ready to challenge Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship. But of course, he can't afford to look past his challenger at the Royal Rumble, which is of course the Big Show. And Big Show has already defeated Ryback once, so that really is going to set Ryback back. I mean, he had a ton of momentum on his side, but that loss to the Big Show kind of has to make him take a step back, refocus himself, and focus on the Big Show. Turn all of his attention towards the world's largest athlete. Because as we've seen, if he looks past the Big Show and if he doesn't take him seriously, he's going to get knocked out. He's going to get his jaw jacked by the Big Show in that KO punch. But right now, Ryback's got a huge challenge here against Sheamus. This is the first time we've seen these two superstars face off here in Universe Mode. As Ryback goes into the cover, and only a 1 count, Sheamus kicks out. But of course, Sheamus, back when Ryback won that Intercontinental title, Sheamus was busy in the World Heavyweight Championship picture. So these two they've never got an opportunity to go one-on-one, but they have had a history with each other. If we take it back prior to No Way Out, these two teamed up in a tag team matchup, and they got the victory over Orton and Mark Henry. But after the matchup, Ryback attacked Sheamus, and at that point, Sheamus had to stay on his guard. Ryback basically made the claim that he was going to one day go after that World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, Sheamus no longer the world champion, but I don't think he's forgotten that attack. He hasn't forgotten the statement that Ryback made out of him. And look at that, a slap right to the face. And well, if that isn't going to fire up Ryback, I don't know what will. These two superstars, they've got tension between each other, and this matchup this is a make or break match for both these two superstars. Ryback, after losing to the Big Show, Ryback really needs to have a comeback victory here, heading into the Royal Rumble in his Intercontinental title defense. But at the same time, Sheamus, if he wants to get back into that World Heavyweight title picture, especially after the loss to, not the loss, but after he got knocked out, attacked before the match could even begin by the Big Show. And what is Ryback doing here? He's not going to pull the... Look at the strength! Look at the strength of Ryback. A deadlift power bomb. Sheamus is... This isn't some cruiserweight. This isn't Rey Mysterio or Justin Gabriel, anyone like that. No, this is Sheamus. And Ryback just lifted Sheamus up off the mat into a power bomb. If that doesn't tell you about the strength of Ryback, if that doesn't showcase his power, I don't know what will. Let's look at Sheamus now, trying to fire up a comeback here. Delivers a couple axe handles to the face, and takes it down with a power slam. Sheamus now, he's got Ryback up. And look at this. He's going for that Irish curse, and he hits it. The Irish curse backbreaker, taking Sheamus out. Taking Ryback out, I should say. 2 counts, and Ryback just kicks out before a count of 3. And here's Sheamus. He was going for something, but Ryback counters. And look at Ryback. Ryback gets his head nearly taken off from a bro kick to the face. 2 count, and Ryback kicks out. Ryback, he was going for a meat hook clothesline. Sheamus catapulted him up in the air, much like we saw Orton do earlier, and hit him with a bro kick out of nowhere. And Ryback still had the strength to kick out. And now at a 1 count, powers out. Ryback, that had to take a lot out of him. He managed to kick out. But Ryback, he's got to be exhausted right now. And that bro kick completely threw him for a loop. Ryback can't even really manage to mount some sort of offense right now. He's just got to... I think he's just running on instinct right now. I don't even know if Ryback is truly there. I think the lights are on, but nobody's home. That bro kick just knocked him out cold. Somehow, though, his body, just on instinct, almost mechanically just continuing to will itself on. And now, Sheamus now, he's got him over the top rope here. Oh, and Sheamus, this is going to wake Ryback up. Look at Sheamus just clobbering away the 10 beats of the drum. Is that what it's called? I don't know, but anyway, just the power behind these blows to the chest. It'll give you a heart attack. Ryback, that's definitely going to wake him up. If that bro kick knocked him out, I can't even speak. I'm in shock. Wow. Man, that bro kick wasn't enough. But look at Ryback. Ryback now. Mito clothesline takes Sheamus down, and Ryback. I mean, like I said, those beats to the chest definitely woke him up, and the animal inside Ryback is now coming. It's coming out here. Ryback, he's hungry. Feed him more. Sheamus marching around the ring, and Sheamus is about to get shell-shocked. Ryback, that's it. Count to 100. Sheamus is done. 2, 3. Ryback defeats Sheamus here tonight. And this definitely takes you back, like I was saying earlier, about his performance against Christian at Night of Champions, kicking out of 3 kill switches. That was no ordinary bro kick. I mean, just throwing him up into the air, I mean, the back of his head just bouncing off the mat, off the bro kick. I mean, just look at this. Just look at this here. The height just only amplifies the amount of power that was behind that boot, as gravity was going to take effect there as Ryback coming down. Oh my god, but Ryback hung on, he stayed in it, and defeated the Celtic Warrior. Wow, if Ryback needed any sort of bounce-back victory, I think that was the way to go about it. Big Show, you'd better watch yourself, because Ryback, he's hungry, and he wants that World Heavyweight Championship. That's it. That is in his sights, and I don't think anything is going to completely fill Ryback. Feed him more. Big Show is the next challenge for Ryback, but despite the victory, I mean, man, these two superstars, these two powerhouses are going to have one hell of a clash. And not to undermine Sheamus' performance either, Sheamus came at Ryback with everything he had. Very strong performance from both of those two superstars. I don't think a loss like that is going to get Sheamus into the World Heavyweight Championship match at the Royal Rumble, but a good performance, if he can back it up with a couple more victories, I think Sheamus is definitely a strong potential opponent, participant for that Elimination Chamber match. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, and until the next episode of Universe Mode, keep on YouTubing.